premiere edition of Xtravaganza Plus with Usenika. Today I'm very excited to be bringing you a very special guest in the person of Dr. Chido Nwangu. Dr. Chido Nwangu is an award-winning multimedia executive and a new technologies specialist. He is also an analyst for CNN and CNN International, as well as Sky News. Dr. Nwangu is a founder and publisher of USAfricaOnline.com, the first Nigerian-owned and African-owned web-based newspaper. Dr. Chido Nwangu is also the publisher of your favorite social magazine, Class Magazine. I'm sure we can all recognize that magazine. So, stay tuned as we bring you excerpts and highlights of this interview. I'm going to be poking around in the mind of a very intelligent person. Hello, Dr. Chido, how are you?
Oh, I'm very blessed.
Wonderful. It's my pleasure to have you on this premiere edition of Xtravaganza Plus with Usenika.
It's my privilege and honor to be with you today.
Thank you. Well, you are globally known as the authoritative link. And so, it is the reason why I'm excited to hear what you have to say regarding our nation, Nigeria. And so, I have a lot of questions that I want to ask you. Your opinion counts when it comes to public issues and social issues. And so, the first question that I want to, ask you today is, what do you think about the journey so far for Nigeria? How far have we come since independence?
I think we've made some progress. It's a mixed bag. Nigeria has major signposts of achievement in terms of telecommunications, for instance, in terms of the banking industry, for instance, in terms of even the movement of the politics. There is a wider room for competitive elections and voting. There is also the reality that the former President Goodluck Jonathan was a gentleman enough to participate in the handing over from his PDP, the former ruling party, to the APC. Those are important. But there are also the issues of poverty and low-level infrastructural development. There is the problem of roads which have become highways of death for many persons. There is the problem of universities and higher institutions being more closed than they open for the schooling and education for the younger generation of Nigerians. And there is the abundance of crime. Regardless, Nigerians are hopeful that things will get better.
Yes.
The Nigerians are hardworking set of people, and we believe that if all things being equal, that the direction of the country will be improved in the years ahead.
Amen. Wonderful. So how do you think that Nigerians in diaspora are contributing enough to the development of Nigeria socially and economically?
Without a doubt. If you go to the history of the country, those who helped rebuild the direction of Nigeria, those who gave Nigeria the impetus to be propelled to the next level of development in terms of its politics, in terms of the economy. Take Dr. Azikiwe, for instance. He constrained the board. He and made a lot of difference. You go to the banking sector, somebody like Konjo Iweala, the former finance minister, has been and remains a diaspora. The former minister for finance, who worked with Goldman Sachs, also is a diaspora. There are several of them. And as you know, in terms of remittances, Nigerians abroad transfer billions of dollars for the development, the sustenance, and the establishment of small businesses by their folks back in Nigeria. And in terms of flying the flag of excellence abroad, there is a young man called Emmanuel who just broke all records in terms of scholastic achievement.
Really?
Yes, there are about 10 of them in Europe and across the United States.
Wow.
Who are showing remarkable distinction. And a lot of Nigerians today are more focused in doing professional work than when they used to do what is called Odu. Some people used to get involved in all those, and they spoliated. Yes, they made a mincemeat of the image. You go to the area of the healthcare industry. In terms of the professional commitment of Nigerian nurses, they count among the best in the whole world.
That's true.
I'm not talking about some persons who decided to live the day after tomorrow today. In terms of their appetite to grab money, by all means, a billing that should be for like $5,000, they'll be like $25,000. And as you know, such things don't go too far.
Oh yeah.
So overall, I salute Nigerians in the diaspora.
Thank you very much.
For their distinctions and their efforts.
Thank you. So it is no longer a question of brain drain. It is now a question of brain return.
You put it best. Because it's a global village.
Yes.
What we post on US Africa Online is read in my village.
And in my village too.
Exactly. So the artificial boundary of somebody sitting in the comfort of his air-conditioned office in Lagos, telling you in Houston or in New York that you're not on the ground. When he's not on the ground, he has been to the village as much as yourself who lives abroad, who travels more back home to the village. So there are those. There is also discrimination against diasporans. You come back, they're telling you, okay, my brother, how long are you going to stay before you go back? So they are waiting for you to bring out whatever you came back with and get ready to go back. But these days, diasporans are setting up businesses, spending more time
in Nigeria.
I am involved in the civic activities in Nigeria in terms of public policy, in terms of defining the issues. At very critical levels, so we have to be engaged.
Wonderful.
We cannot cede our rights to anybody.
Thank you very much, Dr. Chido.
Thank you.
So, as a super journalist, what do you think of acculturation and what impact do you think it has on Nigerian children that are raised in diaspora?
That's a very important question. As you know, culture is at the epicenter of the human experience. It defines one's outlook in many ways. It shapes one's orientation and also propels their sense of duty and challenge in terms of what they do and what they choose not to do.
Right.
Therefore, for the African or Nigerian child born here, they face two kinds of cultural demands. There is the American demand on them, which reflects from the experiences in school, television, peer pressure, and there is the other side of it, which reflects the pressures of home.
That's right.
Traditional parental outlook. And I once watched a video skit where a young Nigerian teenager was sitting with his parents. And the mother had her phone like 4 feet away. The boy was seated on the other side of the house. He called him, "Michael, come and get my phone from me." You know, ordinarily, for some of them it will be like, why do you have to call me from the house to come and get a phone that is right in front of you? But the obligations of tradition, of culture and heritage compels deference. It compels obedience. It compels acceptance. It compels respect. A sense of nobility in the sense of duty, you know, to go the extra mile. And it is equally important to know that our younger generation, Nigerians and Africans, are impacting the Americans in terms of their dresses, their outlook, even how they relate with some of their parents, because they visit these Nigerian kids in their various homes. And several Nigerians are marrying Americans and Americans are marrying Nigerians. I've been to lots of the weddings. And more African Americans are proud to wear what I'm wearing or what our cameraman Tedious is wearing. And then I noticed that you have a mix of modernity and some lace with your own style.
You see?
Which is international.
I'm trying to combo the culture right here.
That's right.
And incidentally, my wrist braces are from Nigeria. They're very attractive, I must say, because I've had a lot of questions. People want to know where they come from. They're beautiful. They want to get some.
And both Africans and Americans will ask you the same question.
The same, definitely. So it's beautiful, you know, the effect and the impact of acculturation.
Yeah, it is very, very vital. US Africa is a multimedia organization that impacts the cultural outlook of both Africans and Americans. And we represent, and when I say we represent, you know we represent.
I know you do.
We don't play. You know, when we play hard.
Well, I mean, congratulations on, you know, the success of Class magazine. It has been, you know, publishing consistently for as long as I can remember. I mean, how long?
25 years in the next 18 months.
I cannot believe that.
US Africa will turn 25 years in the next 18 months.
That's exciting.
Yes.
I know I personally have nothing less than 20 copies of Class magazine in my house right now. So that brings me to my next question. So what do you think about the new Buhari-led government?
Specifically what?
I mean, in terms of, you know, it's, to me, in my opinion, it's the first time that Nigerians have actually come together to embrace the electoral process, you know, with a view to change, genuine change. Why? Because I feel that Nigerians were more involved in these elections than they have been in any other elections that I have personally witnessed in the past. So I believe that Buhari had a lot more support than he probably would have had if he was trying to run 10 years ago. So
in terms of the first time for change. I think that MKO Abiola's election, the June 12 election, signified and laid a benchmark of the determination of Nigerians to vote for change.
Right.
You know, where you had a Muslim ticket, you know, 2 Muslims as candidate, vice president and president, you know, and they did win the elections, although the elections were cancelled by the military. But Buhari, the President Buhari, has the potentials to make a major difference. You know,
in what way do you think that he can, you know, make a difference?
He can make a difference.
What were you expecting to see a difference?
He can make a difference in terms of being focused additionally on the anti-corruption drive in a manner that is fair, that is not vindictive or punitive against certain persons deliberately. He can make a major difference by knowing that Nigeria, at the end of the day, belongs to all of us.
Yes.
It doesn't belong to some retired army generals or some part of the country. In a couple of hours, his ministerial list will be released. And then, thankfully, he has played down on the importance of the role of political appointments, you know, but I wish him well.
Amen.
You know, and then we wish Nigeria even greater progress. The most important thing is to respect the fact that he's determined to clean up the system to the best of his ability. He only needs, in my opinion, to do it without appearing to be vindictive or making the mistakes of 1 or 2 persons who had governed before him.
Wonderful. So that, you know, if you were to be elected president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria today, what would you do differently than what any other previous leader has done in the past, or even this, you know, current?
I'll make the use of Apple computers and iPhones compulsory. I'm just kidding. But you know, I love the iPhone and the Apple computations. The world in the next 5-10 years will be driven 65% by apps everywhere. You know, I will supervise the effort to create a technology revolution in Africa, inside Nigeria. We have the money, we have the brains, we have the people. We just have to recognize the importance. Technology is everything. I'll give you an example. Something that will cost a very big company $1 million to do, US Africa can do it for $250,000 because we optimize technology. We believe in the capacity, the exponential advantage, the equalization of leverage of technology for somebody in New York and somebody in Timbuktu. As long as you have your Wi-Fi, you have your computer equipment. Even while it sounded like I was joking about making the iPhones and the Apple computers pervasive, it is a symbolism of the message that technology first.
You know, that's very, very enlightening. You know, I've come to know who is so passionate about, you know, this technology revolution, and personally and, you know, professionally sponsors, you know, the promulgation of apps and different kinds of media platforms Because I go to a church where all these things you're talking about are already being encouraged, and you know, young boys and girls are spitting out apps for different things almost on a monthly basis. So I think that, you know, if we have more visionaries like yourself and Dr. Chris Oyakilome, you know, Nigeria will be well on her way to even being, you know, the authoritative link when it comes to, you know, certain technological advancements. So I want to take this opportunity to thank you very much for, you know, this wonderful interview, and you know, for letting me come and sit here with you and dig into your mind.
It's my privilege.
Thank you very much. So viewers, on that note,
congratulations on your first show, and I feel very honored and privileged to be asked to be part of this history in the making. We wish you greater success, and I know you'll be able to do it.
Thank you very much.
Congratulations.
Thank you. That means a lot to me.
And we'll support you to the best ways that we can.
So viewers, it has been very interesting and exciting. And on that note, I want to say thank you for watching. Today, our beam is on international award-winning actress Melissa Determined. This stellar actress is well known for her brilliant performances in many Hollywood, Nollywood, and Caribbean movies. She is also an award-winning TV host for Caribbean Festival TV. And also a host on the longest-standing Houston radio station, KCOH 1230. Melissa recently celebrated her birthday in true celebrity style last month, with plenty of showbiz and entertainment personalities in attendance. This is Melissa Determined. So viewers, I'm sure you enjoyed every bit of this premiere edition of Xtravaganza Plus with Usenika. Watch out for more interesting and exciting episodes coming along. So until next time, this is your host, Usenika, signing off. God bless.